Hey everybody, Greg Cazillo from Cazillo.com. I get this question so often, probably a couple of times a week, whether it's on the web from you guys or whether it's from people that I meet in some of my classes. What equipment do I buy next? What do I need to purchase? What's the best next thing that I need to get? And a lot of this has to do with the type of photography that you want to be shooting, what you want to be creating. So it's not a cut and dry, you absolutely have to buy this, you absolutely have to buy that. So let's talk about that a little bit. First thing that everyone needs to have is a good camera bag. And so say you already have, say, a D7000 or an entry-level D5100, and you probably have the kit lens that came with it, and so you need something to put it in, something to carry it in. Buy a nice think tank camera bag. They're a really good company. It's going to last you a long time. But keep in mind they have a wide range of bags. And so one camera bag might not fit all situations. Like I have the Think Tank Retrospective 30, which is a great camera bag. But I can't always use it for all situations. Sometimes I need to use just a full backpack like my... all of a sudden I forget the name of it, shapeshifter, that's it, my shapeshifter bag. Sometimes I need to, I've been using my shapeshifter just for my laptop sometimes without cameras in it. Sometimes I need a roller if I'm on a plane. So it really depends. So you might need a couple of those bags eventually, but try and get one. You usually want to get a shoulder bag first because it's good to shoot out of. You can kind of sit it down, switch lenses real easily, that kind of thing. Whereas if you have a backpack on, it's a little bit harder to change those lenses in and out of the bag, re-zipper, all that stuff can take more time. Now, next thing you need to purchase is some cards. I've got a lot of cards, a lot of memory cards, and actually both of these Think Tank Pixel Pocket Rockets are full of cards. I'm not a big fan of the huge cards. I still shoot the 8 gig cards in my D3, D3S. Invest in one of these Think Tank Pixel Pocket Rockets. I've got like 4 of them or something. Anyway, put your cards in them. They're going to stay safe. They're going to stay clean, and you're not going to lose them. So that's a good purchase, and they're only like 15 bucks, I think. So while you're buying your camera bag, buy yourself a Pixel Pocket Rocket. Now, what about lenses? Lenses are the next thing you really need to start investing money in. One of the cheapest ways to go, and I should say least expensive, is with a little 50mm lens. They're really good lenses. They're usually pretty sharp because they're a prime lens, and they're a lot faster than what your variable aperture lens is. So definitely want to pick one of those up for $200-300 bucks. They're a good way to go. Then you want to start getting into your better zoom lenses. Get in your straight 2.8 lenses, your non-variable aperture lenses, so that you don't have issues that when you zoom in you lose a stop or a stop and a half of light. So that's your next step. So in the next part of this video, I'm going to go over some individual thoughts on different types of shooting, and we'll go from there. So the next thing you need to think about is, what are you shooting? What are you going to be creating? What do you want to create? What are you interested in? One person might be really interested in a lot of flower photography and macro work. And so you're probably going to want to pick up some kind of a macro lens, like this 60mm 2.8 lens. This 24-70 is a really good lens, but I don't recommend it for most DX shooters, most crop sensor shooters. You're probably going to want a 17-55 2.8, which is a better all-around lens. All right, especially if you're doing portraits, group shots, family stuff, that kind of thing. It's going to be a great lens. Now, in my opinion, I'm actually shooting with it right now, otherwise I would show it to you. Everyone needs a 70-200 2.8 lens, or just about everyone. It's such a versatile lens. You can do so many different things with it. It gets me out of so many jams. It's nice and bright, good quality, whether it's the Sigma, whether it's the Nikon VR1 or the Nikon VR2 lens, any of them, or any of the Canons. The Canons have a number of the 70-200 2.8 and f4 versions. Any of those lenses are really good pieces of glass. You really need one of those. They're just so flexible. Bokeh or no bokeh, you know, shallow depth of field or not, they're fast. The focus is fast. You can do so much with it. You really need to put that on your list. And that's what I suggest, is actually making a list of things that you want to purchase and start saving up that money in order to do it. And don't just settle for the next lens down if you really want the higher quality one or whatever, just pick out the right one. So next, say you wanted to shoot, we talked about the macro and kind of the family. Now what if you're shooting birds, okay? You really want to get into bird photography, you really enjoy it. Well, you know what? You need to start investing in big glass right away and start saving for big glass. Like, for example, this Nikon 300 2.8, probably something even bigger. You're probably going to need either a teleconverter on this to make it longer, or you're going to need to go with, say, a 400 f4 or 200 to 400. You're going to need something even bigger than this, especially for the smaller birds. And you might even want to go with a smaller sensor like a D300S body in the future rather than a full frame body when you're ready to upgrade. So the point of that is you don't always want to be just upgrading your body. Lenses are more important for the most part than your body. Your lenses are going to last longer. You're going to have them for a longer period of time. So, you know, your lenses might last for 2 or 3 bodies versus your, you know, the body, you're just going to, you don't need to turn it over as much, especially for people that aren't pros. So think about that a little bit. The next segment, we're actually going to go over flashes and studio work. Strobes are one of those things that, I don't know, people just for some reason, they think it's taboo or they're not sure about it and they don't quite understand how the exposure works or something. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of throws people in this tizzy. And so, I don't know, it's just funny in that way. The first flash that I think you need to purchase is the one from your camera manufacturer. If you have a Nikon, buy an SB700 or an SB900. If you have a Canon, buy one of the newer Canon flashes. I don't remember what they are. I'm sure somebody will mention it in the comments. Anyway, buy one of the newer ones that they have. Typically, the user interface is better. Like this is an 800. The user interface on this is not as good as the ones on the 900 and the 700. So it makes those a little bit easier to use compared to this 800. But I still use this. It still works great. I've had it so long, I can actually use it really well. Sometimes better than my 900 because I don't use it at the 900s as my primary flash. But in my opinion, this is the first flash that you need to buy. Studio, anything, this is the first one you need to buy. You gotta have one, at least one of these. Because when you have that SB, say you have a 7000, okay, you can use one flash off camera. Then you buy a stand and an umbrella or a softbox and a little kit. They actually make these kits for about $170, $150. You get a stand, you get a bracket, you get a softbox and a softbox ring. I'll put a link up to it. Anyway, you pick up that kit, add one flash, and you've got off-camera flash. You can do that with portraits. You can use that in a studio. You can do a lot of stuff with that. Then you go to your Staples store and you go buy a couple pieces of foam core. Okay, those are great for reflectors. You don't have to have those super expensive reflectors that are $75, $100 if that's not in your budget right away. I use foam core all the time for my studio photography. Portraits or not, they work great. It's a good light source, it's nice and soft, and it works well. Now, sometimes you can't use it for, say, diffusing the light. Say you're holding it over top of somebody's head in a portrait. That obviously doesn't work, and then you're going to need to get the right product for the job, and that's one of those 5-in-1 reflectors, and make sure it's a big enough size. So once you've got one of these, or maybe even 2 of these, you could have, heck, you have 3 lights, one on camera, or 3 strobes. One on camera, one here, and then you have a third. That makes for a really good setup for studio or not. So questions, comments, concerns, what did I miss? I'd love to hear it. I'll gladly make a follow-up on this. I think I'm gonna end up making a follow-up video on this one. I'm sure that I missed something, so let me know in the comments. In the meantime, Greg Cazillo, Cazillo.com. Keep shooting. Thanks, guys. See ya.